Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Shaar Habitachon, another class on how to deal with our finances and how to deal with our money. And I bet you never thought that you'd come to Goldie to hear about finances or becoming a financial advisor. But you know, when you have the Torah's guidance and you have books that are steeped in Torah wisdom, not only do you learn how to make money, but you actually learn how to keep it. And I think that's the biggest challenge people have today. It's the waves. They make the money and then it's gone and they don't know how they lost it or what happened. So today we're going to give you insight into how to make the money and how to keep the money that you made. Okay? And I quoted two sources today on the Facebook page. One was from Shaar Habitachon, that you are God's money manager. And the other quote was from Thomas Jefferson. So we'll see what you take away from this and what money guidance, and it's not just guidance and money, but it's actually giving you a way of thinking and forging your path in life. Worries, concerns, anxiety surrounded around parnasa. And I know there are a lot of people that wake up every morning, or some of them can't sleep at night. They struggle how they're going to make a living. But with Shaar Habitachon, you don't have to have the struggle. The struggle is gone. And we're going to focus on that today. So first of all, how is everyone this morning? Whether you're watching from New York or Toronto, Italy or Israel, wherever you may be, give me a thumbs up. What kind of mood are you in this morning? I need to know who my audience is. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling excited, anxious, exhilarated, thrilled, worried? You know, what's your state of mind today? Good morning, Lauren. Good to see you. And we have Barbara up here today. We have Jennifer. Good morning, Shirley. Good to see all of you. And if you want to put down where you're watching from, where you're joining from, that would be my pleasure as well. Boker Tov. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Sancha. Okay. So we're going to start off, of course, with saying chapter 20 in Tehillim. And I will say something significant today. Today is my Zalmi's birthday, and his chapter, Tehillim, is 20. So I'm going to be saying chapter 20 with you and having my Zalmi in mind. Okay, we're going to say Tehillim today for Yaakov Moshe ben Necha, Yehudis bas Sarah, Yitzchak Moshe ben Rachel Reza, Tzipora Hinda, bas Rachel Miriam, Sarah bas Chana, Menucha bas Emmanuel, Sarah bas Rivka, Yisrael ben Esther Golda, Nachama Dina bas Esther Hadassah, and Yitzipora bas Chayocheved, Tuvi Moshe ben Perel, Liran Bracha bas Shein Leah, Rivka bas Chafitza, Leah bas Chafitza, Dalia bas Yehudis, and definitely put down names. Jennifer, you're right. Put down names of people you want to daven for. Rachel bas Vega, Henya Tova bas Tamabasia, Moshe ben Miriam, Leah bas Etel, Nomi Sarah bas Tzipora, Sarah bas Penina, Dov ben Tovia, Yitzchak Mendel ben Bracha, Malka bes Rachel Reza Leah, and Yeshua ben Leah. If anybody else wants any chapters of Tehillim, please put their names now. Shoshana bas Sarah. Okay, thank you. Good morning, Pauline. Okay, who else do we have here that we need Tehillim for? Okay, so as Jennifer said, it was a good class to join. And I will guarantee you, if you listen to the class today, it will take the edge off and it will give you a leg up. Edge off, leg up. That's the guarantee Rabbeinu Bachaya gives if we study and learn Shaar Habitachon. Okay, we have Moshe ben Leah Esther. Okay, so last week, for those of you who were with us last week, we said there were 7 differences to people who are in business. But there are those that have faith and trust, and there are those that trust in the economy, the good fortune, friends, financial advice, or just the economic fever out there. You can determine which one you are. Okay? Who are you? Are you the person that has the trust? And today, women are out there making a living as much as men. We are in the workforce. Today, women's careers have gone through the roof. Today, women are making the big fortunes. They are career opportunists. They are foundation holders, business holders. So this shiur, maybe 100, 200, 300 years ago, or when Rabbeinu Bachai wrote this sefer, maybe he didn't even really address women. But today, women are out there with the men in the workforce and working hard. We are bringing in paychecks. We are big in the business world. So Habitachon that we are talking about today, trust, is equal across the board, appropriate for females and males. The first thing we're going to do is our little breathing exercise. I want you all to breathe in Habitachon. And exhale anxiety. That's step number one. You can do that every morning. You can do that by saying Moda'ani, and you could do that by giving tzedakah, and of course saying Tehillim. And that is how a wealthy individual who wants to be happy and wealthy. Now that's a very rare combo. There's a lot of wealthy people out there, but so many of them are anxious and stressed and neurotic and worried and concerned, and they are living with their head in their work. They have total encompassing experiences with their money. It's all about my next paycheck, my next employer, my next employee, what's going to happen with the money? And God says to us, no, absolutely, that's not the way a Jew has to live. Good morning, Stella. Good morning, Esti. A Jew lives with Habitachon. We work hard. We make the vessel, but we don't worry. God worries for us. And for those of you who are doing well, and you have that lifestyle where God does the worry, you know what I mean. You're not stressed. You're not anxious. Your shalom bayis, your marriage is not floundering because you are not angry and biting at each other about money. When money becomes the all-encompassing theme in your home, the mortgage and the rental and the business and payments and credit card bills and spending and how did you spend so much and why do you spend so much and why we're not doing this and how can we afford that? That is not existent to families that live with Shaar Habitachon. Can you give me an emoji if that is how you live or that is how you would like to live? I am a coach, and starting today, I'm going to be your business coach, and I'm going to help you do better and keep more. Just on a side note, yesterday I went through all my credit card bills for the last 2 months, and I was thrilled. Now, how many people are thrilled with their credit card bills? I don't know. Are you thrilled when you get your credit card bill? I'll tell you why I was thrilled. 60% of my credit card bill was charity that I had given. And I am not boasting. I'm not boasting. Why am I telling this to you? Because this is where a Jew has to live. We have money, we take what we need, and the rest give to tzedakah. That feeling, my friends, is exhilarating. First of all, it was exhilarating when I gave it, and yesterday, when I got the bill, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gave to all of those charities? Now, I have a friend who's watching right now. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but she, every month, is sending donations to Chabad Markham. And this is not a pitch for the show, because there's thousands of charities out there. But anytime there's an occasion that she wants to be grateful, she sends me an email and attaches my secretary to the email. She CCs my email. And she says, take off $54 in honor of Zalmi's yahrzeit. Take off $118 in honor of this. Take off. She's constantly giving charity. And I don't know her financial status, but I know she's a very busy, successful businesswoman. And because she gives, she's doing well. And the more she gives, the more she tests Hashem, the more Hashem will show her He pays back. God says about this mitzvah, test me. Doesn't say it about any other mitzvah. So, we're going to say chapter Chaf with Kavana, and we're going to get straight to the business coaching. Lamanatseach mizmor leDavid yancha adonai b'yom tzarei sagefcha shem leYaakov. Yishach ezrecha mikodesh u'mitzion yisadecha. Yizkar kol mechotecha v'lascha yidash nesela. Yiten lechacha v'vecha v'chol atzascha yimalei. Nirana b'shuasecha u'v'shem Eloheinu nitgol. Yimalei adonai kol mashalosecha. Ata yadati ki yoshi adonai mishicho. Yaneu mishmei kotra b'gvuros yesha yemino. Ela v'recha ve'ela v'asusan v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu naskir. Hema karu v'nafalo v'anachnu kamnu v'sadad. Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Anenu b'yom karenu. Good morning, Ava, and good morning, Nancy. Okay, so we're going to get straight to it. So much to cover today in so little time. We spoke about the distinctions of a man with trust. All people have to go to work. Unless you're sitting home and you're collecting welfare, everyone else is going to work. And I know that my audience watching today are not the welfare type. We are all out there hustling, right? Hustle, yussle, right? We're all out there hustling. So last week we covered two things. The one that has Habitachon in God, the one that has trust, he's always grateful and he's happy-go-lucky. If you want to watch last week's, go to YouTube or Facebook and you'll find it. Today we're going to cover three topics. The person who has faith has the proper attitude, they know how to budget properly, and they know how to make the right career choices. Okay, so let's go through proper attitude. What does that mean? A person who relies on God also involves himself in many various choices in livelihood. Again, he doesn't sit home and twiddle his thumbs, but he has the right attitude in how he involves himself in his business. What does that mean? Okay, what is Rabbeinu Bachai telling us? He understands that his livelihood will reach him when Hashem's wills it to come. And so, he will be involved in creating the vessel. He will be involved. But if it doesn't work out, he doesn't fret. And he also doesn't worship the net that brings in the income. He has the proper attitude. So I'll give you an example. If UPS drops off a beautiful gift at your home from your mom, will you run out to the UPS driver and give him this huge hug and kiss and say, thank you so much for that gift? No. First of all, he's a stranger. But number two, he's just delivering your mom's gift. Your mom gets the hug and the kiss. That's the attitude I'm talking about here. Our job is just like the UPS driver delivering the goods. That they are not the one who gets the thank you. It's your mom. It's God that is giving you the gift. And that is why if you have to change careers, you say, well, I can't change careers. I can't change careers. God won't know where to give me the money. It's like saying, if I move the house, my mom won't know where to deliver the gift for my birthday. Your mom knows your address. Proper attitude. And so he says over here, since, as mentioned earlier, God commanded us to engage in means of obtaining a livelihood, that is considered the service of God. Therefore, Such a man will always search for means through which he can support himself and through which God will send his livelihood, because he views this need of employment as a vessel. And it is a form of divine service. So getting up and going to work is a mitzvah. But if it doesn't go right, you will find another livelihood that Hashem will deliver the bracha to you. Just focus not on the UPS delivery, but focus on who is behind that delivery. The same thing as if a man goes fishing. And it says here like this: if a man goes fishing and the net brings in a lot of fish that day, does he take the net and kiss it up and go, "Oh, my net, you are the glory of my life"? No. He thanks Hashem that day he had mazel with his fishing expedition, his fishing experience. It has nothing to do with the net. But he went fishing. And getting up and going to work is a mitzvah. You create the vessel. And sometimes the vessel is different. Sometimes the vessel changes. And that is a very, very important realization for you when you go to work. You put it out there, but you don't have to put your head and your heart in it 24/7. Allot your time for going to work and say to Hashem, I am here for you to deliver. And when I get that delivery, I will give the tzedakah. And if things don't go right, I don't curse my job. I don't curse my employer. I don't curse Wall Street, and I don't curse the real estate market. I just say, that wasn't the vessel for me. That wasn't the direction for me to make my income. So that's number one. Okay? That is very, very important, because that's the proper attitude. Number two, we are going to talk about budgeting properly and how important it is to realize that when one budgets properly, you will realize that you will have way more than you ever needed. And that's what I alluded to when I said, you are God's money manager. And if we ruin this responsibility, God has other managers. If you want to be the one to be in charge of God's income and to give tzedakah, do it, and do it a lot. Do it a lot so that more than half of your credit card is giving tzedakah. And I'm not talking about look, I can't give multi-million-dollar donations. Maybe one day I will. But I can give a lot more than I thought. And since I've started learning Shaar Habitachon, my tzedakah has been way, way more than it's ever been. I always knew I had to give 10%. That a Jew knows. Even Catholics know that. They do it in church. Someone joked, they said, why don't we give around tzedakah boxes on Shabbos? People are sitting there, but money's muksa on Shabbos. In the churches, they go around with a plate and people dish it out. But Hashem says, you come to shul on Shabbos, give the money on Sunday. Don't touch money on Shabbos. But in your mind, you can set aside that I will give more than 10%. And some people who really want to show Hashem they give a fifth of their income. And it feels good. Now let's talk about budgeting properly. He says here like this. He quotes Chronicles and he says, for all is from you, and from your hand we have given it to you. And what is King David alluding to here? He says he's describing how he and the other officers of Israel donated large sums of money to the building of the Holy Temple, which today is building a shul, right? And they did so because they realized that everything is from Hashem. So a person who has Habitachon and realizes that everything's from God will generously give his money for charity and other mitzvot. And here he's saying something very interesting. There's a mitzvah, and tell me if you've ever heard this, put it in the chat. Has anybody ever heard of the mitzvah called Hijra Mitzvah? Anybody? what does it mean, Hijra Mitzvah? If you've ever heard of it, hello Carmela, hello Denise. If you've ever heard of Hijra Mitzvah, tell me, what does that mean? Okay, I'm waiting, and then I'll just offer it myself. Okay, Hijra Mitzvah means beautifying a mitzvah. And some examples would be, you could have a menorah in your house, and then you can have a beautiful menorah, right? All of you, and I'm sure you could show me with a thumbs up, how many of you, thank you Alona, how many of you have beautiful menorahs? Not just the regular, $10 menorah, but how many of you have beautiful menorahs? Maybe sterling silver menorahs, or gorgeous menorahs they picked up in Israel that cost them. How many of you have Shabbos candles, tea lights, or some of you have beautiful silver candlesticks, right? It's a custom in our family that when my son gets engaged, we buy his bride beautiful sterling silver candlesticks. And those cost thousands of dollars, but that's called Hijra Mitzvah. And I see a lot of you are sending me the emojis that you do Hijra Mitzvah. How many of you have a mezuzah on the door, but how many of you have elaborate mezuzah cases? Hijra Mitzvah. How many of you have the mitzvah, you eat the matzah, but then Hijra Mitzvah, you buy shmura matzah. You know how much money is spent on shmura matzah? You could just get away with the store matzah, but there are some of us that will spend more money on matzah because that's Hijra Mitzvah. And so in this piece in Shaar Habitachon, Rabbi Beinu Bachai is saying to us, you should take your money and do Hijra Mitzvah. Spend money on the mitzvahs more. Shabbat. You can have your regular challah and your regular meal, but look at Yosef Morker Shabbos. He bought the best fish. He bought the nicest brisket. He spent money on the best challah, the most beautiful salads, the most delicious dessert. And the family knew, comes Shabbos, a whole week, supper is okay. But Shabbat, my mom makes a meal with everything, all the side dishes, and the best meats, and the best recipes, and the best desserts. Why? Hijra Mitzvah. You spend your money on tzedakah and on Hijra Mitzvah. You don't just have 3 guests, but you have 10 guests, right? COVID is almost over. People are already starting to go out to friends. Open your houses and invite people back again. How sad was it that people are still sitting without guests at their table? People are vaccinated. Invite them into your home and start having Hijra Mitzvah. Make your Shabbos table beautiful, not just with 4 people, but have 10, 15 people like the good old days. COVID is slowly on its way out. Let's start getting back into the psyche of opening our homes again. I'm doing it, and there are people that are comfortable coming, and those families are being welcomed in by my family. Some people sit at the edge of the table, some people put on the mask until they start eating, but I don't want to give up on Achnasas Orchem. That's one of the mitzvahs that says budget properly. Okay, spending money maybe on our furniture and updoing our furniture all the time, maybe that's not what he means here, but definitely spending money on Shabbos, tzedakah, Hijra Mitzvah. That's what he's talking about, to budget properly. And then we have career choice. Now this is a very interesting observation. What does it mean? And why would Rabbeinu Bachaya in this book be talking about career choice? Anybody want to offer an explanation on the chat? What does he mean here? A career choice. I mean, is this a book on careers and business values? Business? Why is Rabbeinu Bachaya in the 1500s talking about career choices? And that someone who has Habitachon knows how to make the right career choices. Throwing it out there, I'm challenging you. Come on, Corinne, Alona, let's go. Tell me what you think. What does career choice have to do with Habitachon, with trust. Okay. So, okay, Corinne, so what do you mean? We are doing what we are supposed to. What does that mean? Elaborate on that. You're on the right track. Okay. So I'll tell you what Rabbeinu Bechaya says. He says there are some people that go for job interviews, and they know that if they take that job, it will compromise their mitzvahs or their Judaism, their level. So they take a job, but the job says, unfortunately, you have to work on Saturday. And you say to yourself, listen, I need a job. So Rabbeinu Bechaya says, if it's going to compromise your Judaism, that's not your job. Your job is not going to step on mitzvot. And you're taking the wrong job, and you're not going to make a good income from that. Or if you make a good income, the money won't stay with you. So what he's telling us here, find a career choice that is in line with your values. Someone gives you a job, you're absolutely stunning, and you're a model, and you decide you're going to get a job as in a modeling agency. Unfortunately, it compromises with your modesty. You have to walk around in a bikini, and that does not sit well with your values. So you say to yourself, but I'm so gorgeous, and I'm so stunning, and I'm 6 feet, and I'm a size, 2. I'm not sure what size you have to be. And it's a great paying job, and it will take me all over to Milan and to Paris. If that's going to compromise your role as a Jewish woman, that's not the job for you. And if you speak to any models out there, it's a really sickening life. They have to be emaciated, they're not allowed to eat too much. If you've read up on these women, it's not life. It looks glittering out there, and it looks very glamorous, and you're out there and you're posing on the beach and the mountains with bikinis and all. It's a horrible life. They'll tell you. I spoke to a woman who was a model, and it was pathetic, and it lasts very, very short, and it really crushes your self-esteem because someone else is skinnier and you got a line, and suddenly you have creases, and you're thrown to the dustbin because you're no longer important. Your career choice is decided by who you are as a Jewish woman and a Jewish man. And if it's not in line with your values, that's not your job. And A, you won't make the living you want, and B, you won't keep the money that you made. And this is a guarantee from Shaar Habitachon. And it's the best career choice idea I can give you, straight from here. Choose a career that is in line with you and who you are as a Jewish woman. Whether it's working on Shabbat, a job that won't let you take off for the Jewish holidays, that's not your job. You walk in at your interview and you say, I'm very well qualified for this job. I have everything it takes, but I want to tell you I'm a Jewish woman, and as such, I will not be able to work these and these dates. And when you walk in with confidence, and you walk in with a surety, and you walk in with Hashem, if that job's meant for you, you're going to get it. And they will respect you. So that's what we talk about career choice. And then I want to share with you a beautiful letter that the Rebbe wrote. And he says like this: in response to your question, if you would return to a city that has no minyan for work, I wrote all the above because I do not know your degree of Habitachon. So there was a fellow who wrote to the Rebbe. He says, I have a new job, but in this city there's no synagogue and there's no minyan. And we know a Jewish man should pray with a minyan. This man was a religious man, so he went to synagogue every morning, but now his job is taking him to a place where there's no minyan. So he asks the Rebbe, what do you think? Should I take the job? So the Rebbe says to him, I don't know your degree of Habitachon. I don't know your degree of trust. However, if you are strong in this respect, with simple faith, and you seek an alternative medium for livelihood, God will grant you your livelihood in a place where there is a minyan, and you will be able to carry out all your obligations in the above mentioned areas. So Hashem is saying, if your trust is strong, you'll find a job that will still keep you in a city that has a minyan. And that goes out to anything else. You know, sometimes we have to go to places that have no Jewish identity. There's no Jewish community. And they go there because I have to go there for school. And you say to yourself, do I have to do that? Is that going to help me with my income? But I need a Jewish community. I need a place where I can get kosher food. If your Judaism is in line with your career, Hashem will find you a place that you'll have great career opportunities and you'll still be able to keep your Judaism. So I want to share with you a story about Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was a fellow who lived in the early 1900s and was known at that time to be one of the wealthiest individuals. He died in 1976. And there was a lot of drama around this man's death. So who was he? He was a billionaire. Now, in the early 1900s, 1940, 1950, to be a billionaire was, like on the Elon Musk level, okay? And unfortunately, what happened was he became very, very scared of his money and scared it will be taken from him. See, he became a recluse. He was scared of his shadow, scared of his family, scared of his bodyguards, scared of his cook, scared of everyone that was in touch with him. He thought his bodyguards were being bribed to murder him. He eventually died the most sad, decrepit individual with the most brilliant amount of money, but the most depressed and just forlorn man. What was it? He had all this money, but he didn't know how to live with this money. Do you know anyone like that? Do you know anyone that has money, but they're scared of their wealth? They're scared of their finances. They're worried that people are friends with them just because of their status. And they're very weary of friends and family. Oh, you want to come to me because of my money. You're nice to me because of my money. You just want to... Do you know people like that? It is such a tragedy to live like that. As opposed to someone who makes a beautiful income and says, I'm just God's manager. And I will give it to anyone who needs, to institutions, to synagogues, to schools, to hospitals, to anyone that needs. And I know that no one could take my money from me unless God wills it. So I'm not scared of people. I'm not scared of sleeping at night. I'm not scared of my shadow. I'm very comfortable with my space in this world because Hashem is with me. Hashem is protecting me. In fact, the Rebbe spoke about this man at a Farbrengen, and Hashem said to him that it was, the Rebbe said at a Farbrengen, just scratch what I said before. The Rebbe spoke at a Farbrengen, and the Rebbe said, a man by the name of Hughes just died, and here was a man that could have lived so much of peace and freedom because he had all the amenities he wanted, and yet he was the man that was the most of a servant, of a slave to himself. And actually, it was so interesting because the Rebbe spoke about this on a Farbrengen right near Pesach, which is Man Cheretenu, the celebration of freedom. And the Rebbe said, here was a man that was scared of being kidnapped, being poisoned, being terrorized, and his life ended up being such a tragedy. So the bottom line of today's class is this. We all know that we can have an income that is going to give us unlimited. But what we do with that income and the way we live with that, that's up to Hashem. So wishing you all a week of success, a week of bracha, a week of joy, and most of all, a week of Habitachon. Trust that everything Hashem gives you is meant for you and meant for you to share it. Have a beautiful week.